All right, here's the daily watch list video for what the heck is tomorrow? Wednesday already? Wow, Wednesday, September 27th. Here's the SPY, kind of hanging out again at all-time highs. No shock events, so we just go ahead and build our list for tomorrow. Today was sort of artificial intelligence day. I made a couple nice trades. Actually, HMNY, but this was I screenshotted this earlier in the day. I actually added a few hundred to that in the afternoon on that late day break. But those artificial intelligence stocks are red hot, so keep your eyes on them. But at the same time, a lot of them are stupid extended, as I like to say, so they need to come in for a bit. But all right, anyway, so you can see the SPY here sitting basically at all-time high. So here's my list for tomorrow. I don't generally like these sub-dollar stocks, but this is a pretty handsome setup in this MARA. And the best I could tell from social media is that this is being deemed in artificial intelligence, or they have AI patents or something. So, but the chart looks good. I usually dismiss a tweet like that, but when I saw the chart, it looks pretty impressive. You had a big volume spike here to 55 cents. You had a lower high to basically 50 cents, and then today again to 50 cents. Nice volume each time. So this is poised for a possible big breakout. Definitely want to watch that one tomorrow. ABIL. Nice volume spike in this one. Nice support below. Maybe a continuation day. Maybe a push through a buck tomorrow. We'll see. AKTX. Put in a bottoming tail today. We'll see. I called this as a late day trade. When I saw this volume coming in before it broke 7. I said, hey, this might work through 7. It didn't go up very far. The highest it went was 717, but there was some money to be made. I didn't take it, but it feels like maybe it's trying to have bottomed today, sitting at the 200-day also. So we'll see. We'll see if that one can continue the bounce tomorrow. ARLZ, sitting kind of at a 3-day high here. It's still worth watching. No trades in it today. ACTG. This one got nice volume again today. I believe this one is going because I think they own a stake in VERI, which is just nonstop, crazy strong. So they piled into ACTG as a sympathy play. I actually called this in chat when I saw VERI running over 495 when it looked like this. I said, hey guys, we're getting an early possible high day break, possible catalyst above. And it did this, went to 505. We got in at 495. Went to 505. It's a nickel spreader, so it moves a nickel at a time. And I'm thinking, hey, we've got one. And then it came back down and just didn't get going, and I killed it. I actually lost a nickel a share in this thing, right? And then it did this. And then it did this real nice. But that's everything I was looking for right there. I told everybody this might challenge that recent 530 high, or I might have said 520. Either way, was a nice trade idea and poorly executed by me. There were some people in chat that traded a lot better than me. I mean, I didn't intend to have a nickel stop, but for me, the way I trade, the setups I find should work right away. So if they don't, I just say, hey, my thesis was wrong. I'll get back to cash and then reassess. But I never did find a way back in. Having said all that, I like the volume today. I'm going to watch it again tomorrow. LTRX, nice little pop today on a little extra volume. If you notice, this big volume spike is still only 279,000 shares. So that's a thinner stock. Generally, MBRX, something like this. I love the chart here. I love the big pop and the lower high, and you can kind of picture a trend line right here, right? It's basically kind of gapped up into the trend line, and certainly looks good if you can get back through 3. There's catalysts above a high of day, break of today's high, break of this high, break of this high. So it's a handsome chart, but today on an intraday basis, it gapped up, and the sellers just got a hold of it. Look at it on 5s, and this is what it did. It just grinded lower all day. It did not meet my gap play parameters, so luckily I never got involved. And having a set of rules in place is super important. Let me try that again. Super important, getting ahead of myself. Super important if you're looking to play a potential gap and go play. You have to have a set of rules. I'll say this 20 years from now. If you tune in and I'm making a video and you're watching one of my videos, I'll still be saying buying at the open is not a strategy. Okay? The only reason anyone running a service or a chat room buys right at the open is because they're thinking they've got enough people, I should say sheep, to just buy right after them. They say, hey, I'm in, and then they've got all these people to buy it, and then they can sell to them, and then they can brag later, hey, I made money even though it reversed. You guys didn't make money? So you have to have a setup, all right? And we teach setups in our course and in our chat room. We teach setups, and there's a specific set of things I'm looking for in a morning gap play, and if they don't happen, I don't get in. But I promise you, buying at the open is never an entry, okay? It's never a viable strategy. I've had people try to debate me on that and say, well, what about if it's breaking pre-market highs and so on? Buying that opening 30 seconds or opening minute is still, I don't care how good it looks, and if you've got a beautiful pre-market flag and the opening minute is breaking that pre-market play. I don't care. I've still seen things whip all over the place. It's not a strategy. So if you're just trying to chase somebody who's buying the open and you can't figure out why you're not making steady money, it's because you don't have a process. All right? I didn't mean to get off on a rant. All right, so that was MBRX. I still think it's worth watching tomorrow. Generally, I don't like stuff that gaps up and sells off all day, though. I don't like to trade it the next day. But sometimes the next day they get going. This APUS, very strong move back here. We've got 4 days lower on declining volume. I still think that's worth watching. I believe that's a sympathy play. I think they're in on this ALNY. I think they get some proceeds from ALNY's drug or something like that. Don't quote me on that because I'm not positive. I'm a chart player and I play the charts. So this one, another nickel spreader, but it can move nicely when it moves. Certainly worth watching, especially if you look at the, it really made a measured move from like 4.5 to almost 8 in the course of like a week. So this was a really strong stock, and now you're grinding lower on declining volume, retracing some of that move. So I think it's a good setup to watch. And lastly, ALDX, not in love with this one. Made this huge move. They did a secondary offering somewhere, I think 725 maybe. Then it still got a nice bounce back to 9, and now you're 3 days lower on almost no volume, back down near support at that 7 area. So I think that's worth watching for a turn back up. All right, we're going to add gap plays to this list in the morning, and hopefully between all these I talked about in the morning gap plays, we can have another nice day. Today was fantastic, and hopefully we'll do it again tomorrow. Have a good night.